Hello, people of the grid. It's Friday. Friday, March the 31st, the last day of March, and we're going into the weekend.
Yeah.
And
big day.
Taking a late lunch. It's 1:15 p.m. Haven't had lunch yet. We need to get a bunch of grocery shopping done, so I'm going with Tammy to do that. And then I'm back in the office to wrap up the day. And we launch into the weekend. So we're pretty excited about that. Today is a very special day because it's the anniversary of the Light Runner, the Tesla Model S. We've had it for 2 full years.
Yay.
2 full years, and I'm gonna get the final numbers after we finish the driving. That's why I'm taking Tammy out in this car, because I'll plug it in when I get home and then I'll kind of call it a year for the car and document where the numbers are at and share that in this video. But kind of just to give you a sneak peek, I looked at the charging profile for over that 2-year period, and we're at right now we're over 101,000 kilometers. I'll give you the exact amount later, like I said. But all of that driving has been done charging at home, charging at the Tesla supercharger, and charging at public chargers. And I've got the breakdown of the numbers. 49% of the charging that we've done has been done at home in our garage. So half of that 101,000 kilometers pretty much we've paid for with electricity from our own house. The other half has come from either Tesla or from public chargers, which is pretty cool. And it breaks down to 29% of that 101,000-ish came from a Tesla supercharger, and then 27%, I think.
Aren't you going to have a little thingy?
I'll show you the pie chart. 29% is Tesla. I think 23% or something, 22% is public charging. It's pretty decent. It's been an amazing 2 years. We've gone on a lot of amazing trips. Started out with a trip to Disneyland and back. That was in the first year that we had the car. A ton of driving for work and driving to the mountains, snowboarding.
I'd like to go to Disneyland again.
Camping. You'd like to go to Disneyland again?
Disneyland.
I would like to go to Disney too. It's on the list.
Kids said they'd like to go.
We'd all like to go. It's on the list. Disney's on the list.
Yes, it's always on the list.
So is Hawaii. And so is Europe. Those are the next.
Those are hard to drive to, though.
Yeah. Hawaii and Europe will fly. Disneyland, I guess we could drive.
Yeah, we'll see.
And Vegas. We'd like to go to Vegas. Drive down for that.
Yeah, us, not the kids.
Just us? Yes.
Yeah. I mean,
Universal Studios,
the Grand
White
Canyon.
Flags.
Grand Canyon would be cool.
Grand Canyon in this car would be awesome.
Yeah. Getting close.
Yeah. So it's been great. You know what? In that whole 2-year period, kind of things we've liked, everything. I mean, everything about this car is fantastic. The Thule box that goes on top gives us more room for all of our stuff. The sunroof, I love it, because with it you can get the extra Thule box. The kids' seats in the back, they're terrific, because all 6 of us can go in the car. Shopping is done. Took all of 10 minutes. That was awesome.
I didn't need very much.
No. You know, I was thinking with the car, one of the things that I noticed is after 2 years of driving, we haven't had a lot of range reduction. You notice it if you charge at home or off of public chargers, it kind of drops a bit. But then as soon as you go back to a supercharger and you let it charge to 100%, it balances out the packs. And then you get a more realistic look. The last time I was there, it brought me up to 424 kilometers when it was brand new. And when it was brand new, I think the best we'd ever gotten was 438. And then it was usually 429 for the longest time. And now it appears it's 424. So that's it's what, about 3 to 5%, 4% drop. It's nothing. It's actually pretty decent. And in the 2 years since we've had the car, we've seen many more public chargers pop up. We've seen a quadrupling of the superchargers, because there used to only be one in Canmore, and then they added Red Deer and Fort McLeod and Calgary.
The Red Deer one was here when we bought it.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's doubled.
2.
It's doubled in 2 years. Pretty good, and it's supposed to double again. So more chargers means it doesn't matter if you get some range degradation. It's no big deal. And it's only when you need to push it for longer trips, and we know how to do those now with range mode and slowing down if we need to.
Yeah.
A little or a lot, but we always get there. We've never run out. We've driven between Tammy, me, and the 3 electric cars we have. It's over 200,000 kilometers now.
Yeah.
And we've never run out. We've never left ourselves stranded. It's usually when you're pushing it, and we've done that too. We probably should have been stranded once or twice, but
yeah. No, there's probably
just because we pushed it harder
in the
than we
Leaf
should
there's
have.
a lot, like, although we knew how to drive it, but in the Leaf there was a lot more, and then
Yeah.
in the Teslas, I
Yeah.
can think of 3 times. Probably.
So I'm gonna pop inside, finish the afternoon, and then I'll wrap up all of the numbers and give them to you guys here in the video as well. As for us, 2 years in the car, loving it. Looking forward to the next 2 years.
They do work in cold weather.
They work great in cold weather.
They do work for big families.
They work great for big families.
And they do work on long distances.
And we've done big families plus 1. We've done
Yeah.
us 6 plus a friend.
So 3 myths debunked.
Yeah.
Actually, I think we've probably debunked them all. I just can't.
They're
think
all
of them right
debunkered. They're all busted.
So.
There is no EV myths.
now. Love our cars.
Yep. There we are, 2-year anniversary, and we've just crossed 101,250 kilometers. So I'm gonna plug it in. Actually, we're not taking it to 100%. We're going to... I've been charging it to 90% pretty much all the time. And if we do have to take a longer trip, I'll take it up to 100%. But 90's been working great. It's really nice in the winter because then I've always got enough range for whatever I need. When we're back here, we plug it in, and you've seen me unplug and plug in a million times. It takes a second. It's really, really nice. So it's no effort at all. And you always wake up to a full car, or you've always got range. Like, we've never been pressed for range. Hey guys, Mike here. We had a fun night. We had some supper, we played some games, we hung out. We're setting up the kids downstairs to watch a movie right now, Trolls. Melissa loves that movie, so they're gonna watch it again and again and again. I pulled the numbers from the Light Runner, the Model S, the Tesla, and I've got everything together for the last 2 years of driving. It's pretty cool. So here's what I see. Our total distance driven came out to be 101,250 kilometers, and that is exactly 62,913, almost 62,914 miles. That's in 2 years. We got the car March 31st of 2015. Today's March 31st, 2017. That's a lot of driving for 2 years. It would have been more. It probably would have been closer to 120,000 or even over. But we picked up a second Tesla that Tammy now drives. So we're splitting the load. Otherwise, I would have been doing all the driving. So not too shabby at all. What's really interesting is my charge profile, and I track that as well. Now you can see I break it out. The kilowatt hours that I pulled from the HPWC, that's the high performance wall charger that we have installed here at the house. The Tesla SC, that's Tesla superchargers when we get charges from them. And then public is where we charge at any level 2 charger. Those are usually J1772s from either Sun Country, or there's a number of others here that are available through the city locally, and when I travel as well. So if I stay at a hotel, I call that a public charge. Now, it's really neat because out of all of that driving, which is a lot, imagine that in a gas vehicle. Now imagine if half of that was free, because it is in my case. Half of it is free. It gets, I get it from Tesla or from public chargers. Now the split is pretty even, kind of. Almost half, 48%, is done charging right here at the house. It's all for the local driving and for where we start long trips. And then 29%, that's the part of the circle in green, that's Tesla supercharging. And then 22%, that's everything else, public charging. That could be even 110 volt, the slowest charging possible, but that is all in that 22%. So that's the breakdown. And then down in the table, you can see I kind of cost it out based on our electricity cost, which is 0.0 0.067 cents Canadian per kilowatt hour. That's what we pay for the electricity. So I just multiply it out, I do the math, and it turns out that to propel the car, now we all know that Teslas aren't super cheap, but once you get one, whether you lease it or you buy it or you borrow money and take it on whatever, it costs less than 2 cents a kilometer to drive. Now that's really amazing because I know, and I tracked it with our gas vehicles, our truck, our Dodge Ram 1500, that truck costs about 25 cents a kilometer to run. I used to have a motorbike that only I could ride. That cost 5 cents a kilometer to drive in gasoline. And the previous vehicle, that was our family vehicle that we drove, the Dodge Grand Caravan, that thing cost us about 17 cents a kilometer. Now it's really interesting with every gas vehicle we've had, the range starts out really good, you know, year one, and then it just drops and it drops as the engine breaks in, and it just, you know, over time, internal combustion engines aren't as efficient as they were when they were brand new. It's just a reality. So the cost of fueling our truck, I know, is about for 500 kilometers, and we don't even get that much on a full tank anymore, but I'm being optimistic. That was about $110, $120 to fuel that thing up. And, you know, it's a big difference. It's like 2 cents, less than 2 cents a kilometer, or 25 cents a kilometer. That's like 12 and a half times more expensive. Even the van, which was 17 cents a kilometer, that's more than 8 times more expensive than driving a Tesla. And even the motorbike was 2.5 times more expensive than driving a Tesla. Other than that, it's a no-brainer for me. I mean, we use it for work, so I get to write off part of the car, which helps with the, you know, initial cost. But it's a huge win. Hasn't been an issue, like we said earlier when Tammy and I were talking. We've taken a ton of trips. We go everywhere, just like we would with any other vehicle. That was kind of our priority one, was that this car had to do everything a normal vehicle would do for us. Otherwise, it wouldn't fit. You know, it wouldn't fit in our lifestyle. And it's kept up with us like a champ. So we're really happy with it. That's my numbers for 2 years. I'm pretty excited about it. I think we're going to blow the next 2 years out of the water with the car. It begins after, I've calculated that after about 4.5 years, maybe a little more, driving like this, I'll be ahead of the game just based on energy costs. It will have lowered the cost of the Tesla to a point where it's cheaper than an equivalent gas car that I would have bought 2 years ago. So that's pretty awesome. Now that's just me. Numbers are going to be a little different for everybody. That's why I built this spreadsheet for myself, so that I can actually see, because I need to know that, you know, we're getting our value for the money that we put in, and we definitely are. Thanks, Tesla. It's been a great 2 years. We're going to keep making videos. We're going to keep sharing the trips that we do, just because they're so much fun, and the car is still a blast to drive. In those 2 years, like we said earlier, there's only been one issue. It was a small one. It was with the door handle. It got fixed right away. And that's it. There you go. My 2-year review of the Tesla Model S85D. His name is Light Runner, and that's with accurate numbers in the mix. All right, guys, I'm going to call that a wrap right there. If you have any questions on the spreadsheet, I shared it out once before. Happy to do that again. You can tailor it any way you want it. I've got it in Apple numbers, but I can export it in Excel format. You can play with it and change the things around, but it's useful for me. I still track every time we put energy in the car. I track how much goes in, and then every time we do a drive, I track how much came out, and I put that in a spreadsheet. That's where these numbers come from. All right, have a good night, guys. Catch up with you tomorrow. It's Friday night. It's late. It's past 10 o'clock. Miker out.